My biggest, like single, I always say influences, Kirby being first, because he was, and I remember specifically, it was when I found Commandy. He did this comic series, Commandy, the Last Boy on Earth. That's where I first discovered Kirby and got totally into all the stuff. I had no idea of all this amazing stuff he'd done for Marvel years and years before. The way that he laid out and he paced his stories, and he always would do a full-page splash to do a double-page spread, and then how he told the stories. And to me, that was the beauty of that, was like just how the fact that he told his own stories, because everything said, written and edited and drawn by Jack Kirby. I said, that's what I want to do. And I think that, and I'm not taking anything away from Peter in any sense, but I think that I had, even when we started working together, I had more experience personally on doing layouts and stuff, and I was maybe more forceful of, like, because we'd talk out the idea for a specific issue and what we were going to do in this issue, and we'd make all the notes, but then I would do the layouts, and he would let me sort of pace the story and how I wanted to do it. I mean, we'd just have discussions on it stuff, but I always sort of drove the pacing, the layout, the panel, because it was very specific. In comics, you go, upper left to bottom right, especially in a 2-page spread, and how you get there and what you need to tell, and so that you get to this moment here where you're dying for the person to flip the page to see what you're going to do next. I used to like Daredevil a lot. Gene Colan and Bob Brown and people like that used to draw him, and it was a sense of realism in the character, because he wasn't like, could shoot laser beams out of his eyes or had a cape and could fly or whatever. He just seemed like he trained really hard and worked really hard, and had an ability that made him kind of cool, but just the story seemed more real. When artists meet other artists, the first place they'd love to see is your studio. I want to see a studio, dude, because they want to see what tchotchkes and stuff that you have, and you'll see a similarity in some of them, but one thing that is a constant is books, and lots of books, and lots of picture books, and whether it's books on anatomy and books on, and you find weird books, books on, household furnishings, because if you're drawing a comic book, you need to draw a Louis XIV chair for a scene in the Queen's palace. You can't draw that specifically, especially you have to draw it in detail from memory. So you need to go to that point in your studio and pull that book out. It's because a lot of artists will say this too. It's like, say, before they go, if they like comics, and before they go to art school and learn how to draw things differently or draw from life, or get, they'll draw the way their guys that inspired them draw. So it's like they'll draw, Mike Ploog trees, or they'll draw Jack Kirby eyes, or they'll draw Barry Smith this and that, and then until they actually figure out, and it'll steadily evolve to their own style, combining all these different inspirations. And that's why I always tell kids, when they say, do you have advice for, aspiring artists or kids that come to the show, show me their portfolio, and I say, look, first off, I can see who you're influenced by, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, first, don't be. Look, if you like Howard Chaykin, trace. Copy. Copy exactly what he's doing, to learn how he's doing it. Because, if you copy him and you copy somebody else that inspires you and you draw things like them, I know you're not supposed to, but it'll help you learn. It'll help you learn anatomy, and as you keep drawing, it'll evolve into your own style. And so don't be afraid to copy and trace and be inspired by this stuff. Just don't, steal directly, but just, what I like about doing this kind of stuff, and it's hard to capture this into some other stuff, some other stories that I've done, meaning that when you're able to be lucid and more free in what you're doing, you have the best opportunity for happy accidents. Stuff that you didn't intend. It's more emotional. It's more raw. It's more random, as opposed to being, like I have to make this perfectly round like that. It's like so you can go like you can capture these gestures and movements, and I love this particular style of work. Sometimes you take it too far and it looks like, oop, wrecked it, but then again, you only spent 15 minutes doing it.